Hello, and thank you for watching this lightning talk titled Talented Students and Fantastic Book Covers, a Design Contest as Open Pedagogy. My name is Tiffani Tijerina, and I'm an instructor of technical communication at Kennesaw State University, and also the editor of the Pedagogy Opened Innovative Theory and Practice series that published its first volume earlier this year with the University of North Georgia Press. Presenting with me today is Sidney Alexander, an interactive design student at KSU and the designer of Pedagogy Open's book cover, and we'll hear from her in just a few minutes. So back in late 2021, I was approached by the folks at the UNG Press, University of North Georgia Press, for recommendations of an editor for this new series idea they had. I had never edited a collection like this before and hadn't even published much yet, but I was an excited instructional designer doing open education work and thought, wow, this is my chance, I have to do this. So I asked if they were open to an early career person like me and if they would consider me for the job, and they said something along the lines of, yeah, it's yours. So I was excited to get started on it. We started work the following spring in early 2022 by organizing a strong advisory board to work with, and that advisory board was just fantastic. The whole process took about 2 years to complete, and it really was an amazing learning opportunity. I think we produced a really great book with some awesome research and information in it, and I'm hoping to start a second volume soon, maybe next year. The first volume was published in March 2024, and it included 7 papers that each explored open pedagogy in different ways through research, practice, and autoethnographic reflection. But one of the many exciting things about Pedagogy Opened was that it incorporated an open pedagogy project in the actual production of the book. So we did open pedagogy in a book about open pedagogy by collaborating with an instructor at Kennesaw State University who was teaching 2 visual design courses. And that's what we're here to talk to you about today. So in one of my meetings with the advisory board for the book, it was suggested that we work with students for our cover design. I loved that idea, we all did, so we turned it into our own open pedagogy project. I teach at Kennesaw State University in a department with an interactive design major, so I reached out to find out who was teaching our visual design class at the time. I think this was spring 2023, about 1 year before we actually published the book. But I found out that my good friend and colleague, Dr. Leslie Hankey, was teaching 2 sections of the class, and that worked out really well because we have a pretty good working relationship. She started by looking at the assignments in her course to identify one that might be easily revised to fit this project, while still meeting her course goals. She had a project in which students designed a poster influenced by the Bauhaus School of Art and Design, which aligned with her course content during that unit. We agreed that the project was a good fit and that we would just shift it from being a poster to being a book cover, front and back. Our team and the press didn't mind the Bauhaus requirement because it's such a broad school of design, as evidenced by the very, very different styles we received as submissions. Leslie revised her assignment, and I prepared a presentation to give students our requirements and all the information they needed for the contest on our side. A few weeks later, their submissions started trickling in, and I was just really pleased with how talented all of these students were. After deliberation with my advisory board, we selected Sidney's design to go on the cover of the book, and she's going to talk about her experience in just a minute. But one of the important parts of this assignment was that every student submission was published, so students were given this opportunity to have their work published, and regardless of whether they won the contest or not, their work is now published in a professionally produced and peer-reviewed book, which is pretty dang cool for undergrad students. So before we hear from Sidney, I did want to give some of the logistics of this project in case this is something that you might be interested in doing for your own OER. We gave students all of the information that they needed about the book before they started their design process. So we gave them the title information, we gave them my name as the editor. We gave them the content they needed for the back cover, so like a book description. We gave them an explanation of what this book is, what was going to be published in it, because we weren't done with the book yet. At the time, I think we were still receiving submissions from our authors. But we gave them some information about the book, what was going to be included and what the purpose was. We gave them definitions of open pedagogy and open educational resources so that they had that background. We gave them a couple of sample titles from the book, so we had we gave them the titles of some of the accepted submissions so that they could kind of see what kind of information was going to be covered in this book, and base their designs on that. We gave them the logistical requirements and like the dimensions of the covers that they needed. We gave them some guidance on using outsourced images, so we gave them some locations to try to find openly licensed images, because that was a requirement. They could only use images that were either openly licensed or created or taken by them. And surprisingly, only a few students actually used any outsourced images. Most of them actually drew their designs completely from scratch themselves. And then we gave them the information for copyright and licensing of the book and of their designs. If they, we basically put that if they submitted their design for consideration or for publication, that they were agreeing to this license. So we were very clear about what that license meant so that they could make their own decision about that. And then students submitted a JPEG file, where some of them submitted a combined file, some submitted separated ones. We ultimately had them come back and submit just a separate front and back design. Later on, though, that was a lesson learned, was to specify that we wanted a separate image file for the front and back designs. We also had them submit the fonts used in their design so that the editor, the managing editor at the press, could use those same fonts when she created the internal cover page. And then we also had them submit any sources and links for images that they may have outsourced. And we had them tell us what they wanted to publish their design under, what name they wanted to use. If they had a preferred name, or otherwise we just gave them that option to publish under whatever name they chose. So with that said, I'm going to shift this over, and we're going to hear from Sidney in just a moment.
Hello, my name is Sidney Alexander, and my book cover design was chosen for Pedagogy Opened, Innovative Theory in Design. And this project was something really new for me. I've never had the opportunity to design for like an actual client, and that made me feel like I had to put a lot of effort into it to make sure that it was something that I feel comfortable and proud with sharing to the world. And I really enjoyed the fact that it was a open licensing project. I thought that was amazing. And basically going into the project, it was really interesting because I was very used to doing assignments that just really don't get shown to anyone else. So having the opportunity to make something and have it be shown to so many different people was amazing. And I thought, like, this is great. This is like just exactly what I would dream of as a designer, because I am a interaction design major. So I thought that was awesome that I was given the opportunity to do something like this. And I feel like doing this project basically made me see the importance of other projects that I may do in the future. And even if they may not be like shown to different people, even if it's shown to like just two people, I still think it's really important to put my all, just like I did for this assignment, just to really like do my best and to really show what I can do in my work, and really just make something that I am completely proud of. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, and thank you, Sidney, for sharing those insights with us into your experience being a designer in this project, and your experience now being a published front cover page designer, and how that affects your future assignments. So this is a 10-minute lightning talk, so I'm going to keep it very short and brief, but I do want to say that to learn more about this project and a lot of the logistics that went along with it, you can go to the actual publication of Pedagogy Opened. There is a chapter there that is solely dedicated to explaining how this project worked and to sharing the results of the project. So every design submitted to the contest is published there. So I strongly encourage you to go and check out these amazing design students' work, and keep an eye out for them in the future, because they will be entering the workforce here soon. Thank you for watching.